Have you ever fantasized about studying in United States at your dream university, but you feel held back because English wasn't your first language? Trust me, I have been there, and let me tell you, many of my subscribers have slid into my DMs with the same concern about their English skills. Let me tell you my story. I have been living in United States for past 10 years now, but while I was in India, my English was far from perfect. I used to stutter while speaking. I could not frame proper English statements. Watching English movies without subtitles was a real challenge. Sometimes I would watch it dubbed in Hindi. But despite of all the struggles, I had a dream to pursue master's degree in computer science in United States. And to achieve that dream, I knew I had to score well in TOEFL exam. Why TOEFL? TOEFL is one of the most widely accepted English language test in the world, and many universities in United States require a good TOEFL score to give you an admit. I studied tirelessly, practicing my English skills day in and day out. I used every tactic I could find to improve my English and boost my confidence. And you won't believe, but after applying these tactics, I managed to score a whopping of 112 on my TOEFL exam. Yes, you heard that right, 112 out of 120. Now, here I am. I'm the living proof that with dedication and perseverance, anything is possible. So if I can do it, so can you. Okay, so you might be wondering why TOEFL scores are even important for my study abroad dreams. Well, let me tell you, TOEFL scores help universities and employers all around the world understand how good you are at English and communication. Different programs and countries might have specific score goals, so it's good to know what they expect. For example, many US universities want a total score of like 90 to 100, but requirements can change. So always check with what university you are going to and what is their requirement. But guess what? A great TOEFL score can actually even lead to a scholarship. I'm not kidding. Many of the subscribers have gotten scholarship because of the great TOEFL score. Just think your TOEFL score could help make your dream of studying abroad even better. So now the question is, all this is good. How do I perform well in TOEFL exam? All right, let's start with number one, which is know your enemy or get familiar with the format. TOEFL has 4 sections. Each section can be like a different level, and each of them will come with its own challenges. Before you start battling, it's super important to know what you are up against. So get familiar with exam format. Knowing what to expect will help you feel more confident on test day. Trust me on this. The 4 sections are reading, listening, speaking, and writing. So each part tests your English skills and ability to communicate in English in a different way. So number 1 is reading. You will read long passages and you will have to answer the test for understanding what you read and the main idea, figuring out what different words mean. Listening, lectures, conversation, and talks while testing your listening skills. Speaking, you will have different tasks like describing a picture or expressing your opinion on a topic. This section is about 16 minutes or so. So practice speaking confidently and clearly. And finally, writing. Get ready to express yourself in writing for different subjects. Each section has its own time limit, so it is like a race against the clock. For example, reading section gives you about 35 minutes to answer 20 questions. So knowing the format helps you plan your strategy. Remember, you can find all this information. Link is in the description below. Now, second thing I did is I made a study schedule. Okay, so you understood what the format looks like: reading, writing, listening, speaking. It is time to create a study plan. So grab a calendar or your phone or something. Mark out specific times each day for studying. Here's the cool part. You get to be the boss and choose a schedule that fits best for you. You might be working right now. You might be a student. So figure out the schedule that works best for you. But the important thing is you need to learn about yourself, whether you learn best in the mornings like an early bird, or you are like a night owl in late night. And maybe you even want to divide your schedule based on maybe 30 minutes reading passages and 30 minutes practicing. Use a planner, calendar, or even sticky to color code your schedule. I would highly recommend. I use Google Calendar for every single thing for my life. I would just start blocking the time that, okay, Mondays are going to be reading practices, Tuesdays are going to be this, Wednesdays are going to be doing this. So this way you have a schedule and you stick to it with the consistency and see the magic happening. You can also use Pomodoro technique to fight the boredom during study and to help you stay focused. So how do you do that? Pomodoro is a simple technique. You set a timer for 25 minutes, focus on studying one specific TOEFL section during that time. Work like a laser, like you have to stay focused during that 25. Turn off all the distraction, your phone, social media, etc., and put them on silent. Take 5 minutes of break after your 20 minutes of studying or 25 minutes. Reward yourself, maybe go on a stretch, maybe go on a walk or stretch yourself, healthy snacks, deep breathing, talk to your family members, etc., and repeat the cycle. Do this for like 4 Pomodoro sessions. So ultimately you will end up like studying for like an hour or 2 hours, and then now you have gotten your focused study sessions done for the day. So now that you have understood the TOEFL format, you have a study schedule. The third and the important thing that I did is practice. It is time to sharpen your skill. The more you practice, the more comfortable you will become with the format and the type of question. Trust me on this when I say it, because my English was not perfect. It's not that it's perfect right now, but many people ask me like, how is your English so good? I just tell them I used to speak without the fear of like what other people are gonna think of me. So practice. Official TOEFL practice materials. TOEFL offers like official practice tests, sample questions, scoring guides, gives you test of real TOEFL experience. You can find the link of all of this in the description again. You also want to check out past TOEFL tests, find copies of real TOEFL test online or in libraries. Practice in actual text will get you familiar with the question format and the difficulty level. Another thing that you can do is finding a TOEFL buddy. Like if you have a buddy who's studying with you, it can be super motivating. You can start quizzing each other on the different words. You can speak to one another. You can write essays and make one another read the essay and understand where you lack and where your strength is, and you can help both ways. After practicing, you want to focus on the fourth thing, which is time management, especially when it comes to a test, which is time focus. So it is very important that you manage your time wisely. You've got a limited amount of time to solve each section, so you need to work efficiently. Now, notice which question takes you the longest and why. This is when the practice session will come in. Is it the reading comprehension, summarizing lectures, writing complex sentences? So practicing where you lack and improving your speed is how you're going to manage the time efficiently during the test. And this is something I also did, is that when I got stuck on a question, I moved on. So maybe move on, mark it to review for later, come back to it if you have time. Remember, it is better to answer more questions, because sometimes you can end up spending so much time on one question and then like you might not even have time to solve other questions. So again, during your practice session, use a timer, like a real timer or your phone, and then practice it with the timer, because as you are practicing it, you will understand which section is taking how much long, because it is the race against the clock. So you want to make sure and practice the time management and making sure that you're efficient with answering and understanding and becoming aware of which area you need to focus and practice even more. Finally, you want to identify your weakness. This is something that I did really well, because once you identify where am I lacking? Is it my speaking skill? Is it my reading skill? Is it my writing skill? Once you become aware of that, you can spend more time in the practice session for that specific section. So the key is to identify your weaker areas and try to focus on improving them. Practice reading more challenging text, maybe listening to English podcasts, speaking to native speakers, writing essays on complex topics. Maybe ask your mentor to help you. Find like an extra practice exercise online. Check out all of this information. Link will be in the description to know more about the TOEFL exam. Look, TOEFL provides you self-paced courses, personalized learning, and practice tests to get the taste of real exams. Plus, there's a top-notch guides and books ready to prep you like a scholar. So there you have it, with these 5 tips that I applied to ace the TOEFL exam, and hopefully my story inspires you as well. Remember, you need to believe in yourself, study hard, practice, and most importantly, have fun while you are doing this entire TOEFL journey. I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, keep smiling and keep hustling. Again, all the links are in the description.